Hello everyone. So the next topic which we will be going to study is about the plasmolysis. So what is the definition of plasmolysis? It is the process of contraction or shrinkage of protoplasm of a plant cell, and it is caused by the loss of water in the cell. So when there is a loss of water, there will be a contraction or shrinkage of the protoplasm of the plant cell. So this is what is known as the plasmolysis. So it is an example of the results of diffusion, or it is a result of osmosis, and rarely occurs in nature. So it rarely occurs in nature, and it specifically deals with the plant's case. The plasmolysis is in the plant's case. So the word protoplasm was generally derived from a Latin and a Greek word which is plasma, which means the mold, and the lysis, which means the loosening. So there is a contraction or loosening of protoplasm of a plant cell. So this has been derived from a Latin and a Greek word. Then these are three stages of plasmolysis: incipient plasmolysis, evident plasmolysis, and final plasmolysis. So all the three will be discussing as a separate topic in these slides only. So first we will get started with the incipient plasmolysis. So what is it? It is the initial stage during which water starts flowing out of the cell. So the cell shrinkage in the volume in the cell wall becomes detachable or detectable. So this is the incipient plasmolysis. Next comes the evident plasmolysis. So after the incipient, it is the next stage of plasmolysis in which the cell wall has reached its limits of contraction, and cytoplasm gets detached from the cell wall, attaining the spherical shape. So this is the evident plasmolysis. Next come the final plasmolysis. In this, it is the last and the third stage of plasmolysis, in which the cytoplasm will completely be free from the cell wall, and it remains in the center of the cell. So it will remain in the center of the cell, and the cytoplasm will be free from the cell wall. So this is the final plasmolysis. Next comes the some of the real life examples where the plasmolysis comes in the picture and the role of plasmolysis comes in. So first is the shrinkage of vegetables in the hypertonic condition. So when there is a hypertonic condition, the vegetables will get shrink. There are blood cells which get shrinks when they are placed in the hypertonic conditions. So the blood cells will also get placed in the hypertonic condition, they will get shrink. So during extreme coastal flooding, ocean water deposits salt onto the land. So this is one of the real life example. Then the spraying of weedicides, which kills the weed in the lawn. So when there is a weeds in the lawn, we spray the weedicides there in the orchards, in the fields, agriculture fields, and in the lawns. So this is due to the phenomenon of natural plasmolysis. So this is the natural plasmolysis. So when there is a more amount of salt which is added as a preservative for foods like jams, their jellies and pickles, so the cells will lose water here due to the higher concentration outside, and they become less conducive to support the growth of the microorganism. So these are some of the real life examples where the role of plasmolysis comes in. Next is what are the importance of plasmolysis. So plasmolysis is a response of the plant cell which is against a hypertonic condition. So in the previous slide also there were all the examples which are related to the hypertonic surrounding. So it responds to the plant cell against a hypertonic solution. It results from the detachment of the protoplasm against the cell wall. So when this occurs, the space between the cell wall and the protoplasm becomes filled with the solutes. So consequently, water diffuses to this area. So there is a partial detachment of the protoplasm from the cell wall, and it indicates that plants needs to rectify the condition, and it thus incitates the plants to take in water from the roots and prevent the water loss via the stomatal mechanism. So this is the importance of plasmolysis. Thus, this could be constituted as an advantage of plasmolysis as well as cytolysis is not reached. Otherwise, the excessive plasmolysis could end up in the irreversible loss of structural integrity and eventually lead to the death of the cell. So, uh, plasmolysis has many advantages, that is many importance in case of the plant cells. Next is there are two types of plasmolysis, that is concave. The concave looks like this, and in the convex picture looks like this. So these are the two types of plasmolysis. So first we will be discussing the concave plasmolysis. So what is concave plasmolysis? So during the concave plasmolysis, both the cell membrane and the protoplasm, both of them will shrink and they begin to detach from the cell wall, which is caused due to the loss of water. So as it was shown in the first figure also, the shape was something like this. So it is due to the shrinkage of the cell, and it begins to detach from the cell wall. So it is caused due to the loss of water. Then concave plasmolysis is a reversible process. It can be revised by placing the cell in a hypotonic solution, which helps call to regain the water back into the cell. So this is a concave plasmolysis. Next we will be discussing the convex plasmolysis. So the shape of convex plasmolysis was something in a oval shape or a round shape. So what is it? During the convex plasmolysis, both the cell membrane and the protoplasm lose so much water that they completely get detached from the cell wall. So they will completely get detached from the cell wall, and the cell will collapse, and it results in the destruction of the cell. So there will be destruction of the cell. Similar to concave plasmolysis, convex plasmolysis cannot be reversed. So in concave plasmolysis, it was a reversible process, but this process cannot be reversed because there is a complete loosening or complete detachment from the cell wall. And this happens when a plant wilts and dies from the lack of water. So when there is a lack of water, then the the plant will die. And what happens is the plasmolysis in the cell protoplasm and the cell membrane gets completely detached from the cell wall. So this type of plasmolysis is more complicated compared to convex plasmolysis. So this is more complicated one as compared to the convex plasmolysis. So these are all the references.